Welcome to Product Pathways, Getting Your Product from Field to the Shelf. This webinar is brought to you with the generous funding from the staff or from the Native American Agricultural Fund. We are happy that you are here joining us. I am Kelly Hepler, the Agritourism Specialist for IENTA. For those of you not familiar with IENTA, for nearly 2 decades, IENTA has served as the national voice for American Indian nations and Native Hawaiians engaged in cultural tourism. In addition to serving as the voice for Indian country tourism, IENTA provides technical assistance and training to tribal nations and Native-owned enterprises engaged in cultural tourism, hospitality, and training. IENTA's mission here on this slide is to define, introduce, grow, and sustain American Indian, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian tourism that honors traditions and values. Today, we will follow your product from the farm to the market during this webinar. You will learn how important it is to share the story behind the cultural significance of your product. Depicting that story on the label can impact your success with wholesale and retail buyers. Connecting the buyer with the end consumer or retailer is vital, as you're going to learn here today. You have worked hard to harvest the raw materials and create a good product that consumers are going to want. You will see how it's important to show those efforts in your packaging and labeling. Finally, at the end of this webinar, you will be given links to free resources available from IENTA's agritourism and culinary research on their website. You can download tools to help you build your own agritourism business and refine your products for your best benefit. We are pleased to have talented experts join us here today. We have Molly Rowe with Winnebago Sweetgrass Trading Company, who will share with you how to put your best foot forward to please the buyers. Your label tells a story before your product is consumed, so it must reflect the quality and hard work. Molly has some great pointers for reaching success with the sale. Corey Cleveland is a stand-in here today and equally talented. We are glad he was able to join us. He is with Ho-Chunk Farms and will share with us a video from the corn harvest at the farm. It showcases the beauty of sharing the story behind the farm and the potential buyer. Also will example highlights that agritourism activity many can replicate in their own harvest. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Molly, and she is going to proceed with a really nice presentation for you. So get your pencils out and take some notes. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Just want to make sure I have control to advance the slides here. But while I'm waiting for that, I'll introduce myself. My name's Molly Rowe. I am with Sweetgrass Trading Company, as Kelly said. Sweetgrass Trading is a subsidiary of Ho-Chunk Inc. It's under the sister company, Ho-Chunk Trading Group. We're an online store that sells Native American-made food, gifts, and wellness items that we source from different tribes and tribal entities across the United States. Sort of like an online trading post, all in an effort to both get Native American-made products into the hands of consumers and also create jobs and opportunities for not only the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska, but all the tribes that we partner with. So I will give you a little bit of background. One second. A little bit more background on Sweetgrass. Sweetgrass was founded in 2013, as I said, under Ho-Chunk Trading Group. In 2018 is when we launched the website. It just, helps reach a wider audience across the US instead of being more localized. Not able to find. There we go. And the goal of Sweetgrass is to make Native American products accessible especially for people that may live in urban areas or also in very rural areas where they may not be able to find these products as easily. So what we did was established a communal marketplace in order to purchase these products from Native American tribes and tribal members. And then we sell those on our website in an effort to support those businesses. We initially only sold non-perishable food items like coffee and wild rice, Indian corn, and then eventually expanded into gifts and wellness items like soaps and body scrubs, oils, things of that nature. So some of the other goals that we have at Sweetgrass is to help the tribes that we work with and also the Winnebago tribe achieve economic self-sufficiency. So every day what we're doing, it's not just about selling the product, it's also about supporting Native businesses all across Indian country. And we do apply a tribal first vision to employ those on the reservation and to support specifically Native owned businesses. And also create a positive social and economic impact on the community and all the communities we partner with. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what things I look for whenever we source new vendors. My role at Sweetgrass is the account and brand manager. And in that role, I will seek out Native made products, kind of go through a vetting process, which I'll talk a little bit more about, and try to find things that are a good fit for us. So I'm just going to cover some important things that I look for and how you can apply those to your own product or your own business. So first, cultural authenticity, and I'm going to cover all these in the slides. This is just an overview. Labeling, brand storytelling, and finally, educational materials and learning opportunities, which is where agritourism would fall under. Starting off with cultural authenticity. So one important thing is to be able to prove that you're Native owned, or at least be upfront about being Native owned. And I have a story about that, kind of an example. There was a vendor, we were searching out a vendor for a specific product, and this company, I asked, I couldn't find on the website if they had any Native affiliation, any tribal affiliation. And I kept asking, and they were kind of skirting around the answer. The product they were selling is very much a Native product. It wasn't like it was just soap or something. And they just wouldn't really answer the questions. So we ended up not going with that vendor. I'm still not sure if it's a Native owned company. But the most important thing is to just be upfront and be able to tell the story of your brand. Because that shows that cultural authenticity piece that Sweetgrass and also a lot of other similar vendors or similar businesses might be really looking for. So that's the example there. We do sell some items that aren't Native owned. However, there is specific criteria that that company or the product must meet. And the reason for that is there are some items that are in very high demand, like Yopon tea, but there is not, that I know of, and if someone does know, please reach out and let me know. There's not a Native-owned company that is currently selling that. However, I do think one of our vendors, they recently were able to be enrolled in their tribe, so they got that piece figured out. But before that, there are reasons that we work with certain companies, and I'm just going to kind of go over that. So the authentic, we have two different kind of product segments, I guess. The authentic products, they are made, produced, or distributed by an officially recognized business or tribal member. And then for those businesses that may not be Native American owned, they have to, represent the culture in a positive manner, made with all natural products, or be certified organic. And I would say usually it says at least one of the following, but we usually will try to meet a couple of those. And in addition to that, I look for things like, does this business give back to the Native community? Do they employ Native, employ Native members? Do they consult Native tribes before they're producing some of these products so that things are done in the traditional sense? So yeah, that's just a little bit of background about the cultural authenticity piece. But like I said, I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing is be able to share your story, be able to share why that product is culturally relevant, the traditions behind that product, and what it means for Native people. And you just want to be upfront and be proud of that and be able to share that with potential customers. So another big thing that we love at Sweetgrass is a really good brand story. So this is a quote from an Indeed article that I just thought was good. Brand storytelling offers companies the opportunity to personalize their brand and form a deeper connection with their customers. So a couple good examples of that with Sweetgrass customers. I think so we have wooden knife fry bread mix, which some of you may have heard of. The really cool story and history behind that product is it's now owned by Ansel Wooden Knife, but his mom, Mary, used to sell like Navajo, or I guess Indian tacos out of the back of her Cadillac in the 70s on the Pine Ridge Reservation, and everyone loved her fry bread. So they started selling it, and now, I mean, the small town that I live in Nebraska has carried wooden knife fry bread for as long as I can remember. So again, it's that having that story that you're able to tell, kind of the purpose behind your product, the passion, and that can really help customers kind of form a deep connection. If it's something that's relatable to them, then they're probably more likely to buy that product. Another good one is Nizoni Soaps, and I'm sorry if I'm not saying that correctly. It's owned by, I think she's 11 or she may be 12 now, a girl from the Navajo Nation. She and her parents enjoyed making soaps, so she kind of runs the whole business with the help of her parents, but she's just a little entrepreneur. So, stories like that and the purpose and the passion behind those stories really help set those brands apart from other ones and makes them businesses that we want to work with, because we want to share that story to help get the word out there, to help educate people, and just to help support those businesses that are doing really, really cool and inspiring work. So the third thing that we look at is labeling and packaging. It seems obvious, but labels should be applied correctly. If you have a sticker on a bag of wild rice or something, you don't want the sticker all like sideways and folded up and wrinkly. Those kind of things do catch the attention of customers. And then if you send those items to customers, they're going to notice that right away. It's exciting to get a package, and you want it to be not only the actual packaging of the product to look good, but also just the way that it's packaged in the boxes. Because it's an experience getting a package. It's exciting. You paid for it. It's an experience. So you want the labels and the packaging to be engaging and colorful and somehow represent the product's location, story, or history, or traditions of the tribe that it was created by. So your labels should invoke some sort of emotion, whether that's happiness or nostalgia, any emotion. And it should also fill a need that the customer may have. So some examples would be the text, the font, and also the colors that you use on your label and your logo, because these can contain some subconscious messages. For example, the color yellow is usually associated with cheerfulness, happiness, red, excitement, and attention. And then green, you kind of get feelings of nature, peace. You would usually see that on like an eco-friendly product or a natural product. With yellow and red, I automatically think McDonald's. Or red, maybe Target, the excitement of going shopping at Target. So you really want to be strategic whenever you're thinking about these things, because they can make a difference. And we're going to talk about labels again in the next slide. Another example, the slogan for Disney World, the happiest place on earth. Who doesn't want to go there? And this is coming from a Disney adult too. So I guess some people don't want to go there, but I certainly want to go there. So we're going to get some answers going in the chat. These are some examples of products that we sell right now. We have Navajo Mike's barbecue sauce, smoked prickly pear barbecue sauce, and our new line of loose leaf herbal teas from Tribal Tea Company. That's a company owned by Sweetgrass. And then wooden knife fry bread mix. So in the chat, can we just kind of talk about like what kind of feelings or emotions might some of these labels stir, whether it be related to the design or the font or whatever stands out to you most. Don't be shy. Yeah, so Penny said tribal tea looks sophisticated and chic. It's definitely got that sleek look to it with the black can, the reusable, or tin, not can, and just kind of the minimal font. Yes, the simplicity, right. Carly said the simplicity of the tea example, and that's exactly what I was thinking, kind of minimal. Yep, the blue gives kind of refreshing vibes. So thank you guys for participating. One more, the use of the tin with the tribal tea seems the most expensive with minimalism. Yep, minimalism, yep. So it kind of, it's got the reusable tin. So it's also, I guess you get like maybe eco-friendly thoughts from that as well.
Yeah.
So some other things, and I realize now it's kind of hard to see, but under Navajo Mike's, it says from the heart of Arizona. So especially if you're from Arizona, that invokes feelings of like being home and nostalgia and, the Southwest. Ben asked, is that a clear top for the tea? No, it's tin. It just kind of looks like it's clear in this picture. And then wooden knife, you have some of the Native American symbols. So it just clearly depicts that it's a Native American product, and it kind of helps set it apart from other items on the shelf. So awesome. Thank you for those of you that participated and helped me out with that. So the last portion is educational materials and learning opportunities. So at Sweetgrass, we make these products available, and that's great. That's a first step. But I think it's also important to provide valuable content. So if you give a customer a bag of Tepary beans, that's wonderful. But what if they don't know how to cook them? And if they do learn how to cook them, maybe they don't know any good recipes to use tepary beans with. So that would be providing things like recipes and blog posts, how to cook tepary beans the best possible way, or 3 tepary bean recipes for your next potluck, which I think might be 2 actual blog posts that I wrote for Sweetgrass. So you really want to be able to provide valuable content so that customers know what to do with that product once they have it. That'll also increase traffic to your website. People will come back, see what blog posts you have recently, because they know they'll probably learn something insightful. So some examples that I have written down would be creating a blog or a monthly newsletter, curating and sharing recipes, creating short videos, which I will show you an example of one in the next slide. And also just making sure you're engaging with customers on social media. That kind of helps provide or create a relationship with your customers. It's not necessarily a learning opportunity, but it still creates that relationship that they will find valuable, and it will help them keep coming back to your products. So in the chat, one more question. Are there any other examples that you can think of an educational material or a learning opportunity that would apply to native products or agritourism even? Kelly, yes. Kelly said a farm tour or farm dinner. That is perfect. Absolutely. Maybe even a farm tour paired with, other native businesses, and then all the meals have different ingredients from the farm.
Different parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like a progressive party.
Right. Any other ideas? YouTube. Yes, Ben said YouTube. And actually on the next slide, I'll show you how we at Sweetgrass utilized YouTube in that way. I don't think people think about YouTube anymore as much, but it's certainly still a really good resource. And just a good way to get your content out there, an easy way, a free way,
Right.
Okay, I'll wait. If there's any other examples, I'll read them out. So now here's an example of some recipe videos that were created for Sweetgrass. Someone else said farmer's market. Absolutely. Going to a farmer's market, setting up a booth, and just connecting with community members can be a really easy way to provide that valuable relationship with customers. So I'm going to play this video, and I hope that it plays smoothly. I might pause it for a second and let it buffer for just a minute. Could help. Okay. Okay, so that was it was a little choppy, but we can link our YouTube channel, or I can add it to the chat. So that's just one example. You can see at the beginning how it showcases which of our products that we sell we're using. But it's not just about showing the products, it's also about sharing a recipe and how to cook with those ingredients. So some other examples of learning opportunities that I want to mention would be print. Do not discount the effect that print material can still have. People love to have something that they can hold on to, especially at things like farmers markets or trade shows or conferences. So brochures, flyers, frequently asked questions on your website, things like that can all really resonate with the customer and provide something useful for them. Yes. Oh, don't know why it's still playing that. Okay. Switching gears a little bit into agritourism. We have a video of the Ho Chunk Farms Indian corn harvest. I'll also be introducing Corey Cleveland with Ho Chunk Farms. He will talk to you a little bit about how you can create agritourism opportunities and kind of help involve the local community on these traditions and help educate them on where their food is coming from. I'm gonna let this one buffer for just a second so that it's not as choppy. Kelly, is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead and try that.
Okay. I'm just gonna give it a second to load.
And Ben says there's an excellent cooking magazine in Northern Nevada called Edible Reno Tahoe, which features local recipes and foodways. Yeah, that is a good magazine, and there are edible publications all over the United States. There's one, I'm here in Colorado, and we have Edible Aspen, Edible Southwest, and I think Edible Boulder. But yeah, they're good. They do a really good job, Ben. That's a nice comment.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a try. Hopefully the audio will, I think the audio will still be there, so it should be okay. Oh. Sorry, I'm reading this. Okay. Okay, let's try it.
Well, what we have going on today is what our people have been doing for hundreds of years. We started the process yesterday of harvesting our Waukesha corn, our Indian corn. As a young child, this was something that we did all the time this time of year. We harvested the corn.
Right now we're doing our 4th Indian corn harvest. It's a project we started 4 years ago that the purpose of the program was to revive a diminishing cultural practice that a lot of our community members didn't know how to do. One of our male relatives in the community, he puts out tobacco at the beginning of the year, and he says a prayer and offers that to Mother Earth, asking that we can have a successful harvest. Then the second process is obviously going out and planting. We farm it organically. We do it just the way that it used to be done. We don't use any chemical fertilizers or insecticides or herbicides. Then after that, once the corn has reached the milky doughy stage, then we'll go out and we'll offer another prayer. We'll offer tobacco and say another prayer and thank the Creator for the successful crop, and then we'll move forward with harvesting. So we go out and we hand pick everything, and then we bring it in and we husk it by hand, and then we'll boil water. We'll blanch them in the water for about 5 minutes. Then we'll take it out and then we'll let it cool. And then that's when we start to washku, and that's when we have a spoon and a bowl with each ear of corn. We're going through and we're taking each kernel off by hand. So that's the way that we do it for the project, just because that's the way it's always been done. After that, we'll put it out on screens, and then we'll put them out in the sun. It usually takes about 3 days. Then it's dried down to where when you rub it, it almost sounds like rocks because it's dried down so far. And then after that, then we'll store it. We'll put it in the bags. That's kind of the entire process there. Our vision is to develop a healthier community through food. And now we're really starting to move forward. People are starting to produce their own food. People are starting to eat better. We have a better physical wellness in our community, and that's only going to make a stronger community for us.
I've been involved for almost a year now, and this is my first time picking and husking corn. I like being there with my family and doing it for people that can't be there.
I'm going to be 65 in December, and you know I'm dealing with cancer right now, and I'm feeling good that, you know, if I'm not here next year, at least people know what to do. You know, if I'm not here 5 years from now, at least our children know how to do this corn, and it's not going to be gone. You know, where that was my fear, that was my biggest fear. And so it's, you know, to have these kids be proud, you know, proud of their heritage, proud of one of their customs, you know, that's a part of what we're doing today, you know, and I hope it continues on for 7 generations.
Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to Corey now to talk about the Indian corn harvest a little bit more. I think there's a slide. I don't know how to give, oops. I don't know how to give access back to the slides to Kelly. There we go. Someone did it. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. Just a little introduction about myself. My name is Corey Cleveland. I'm the Ag Business Supervisor here at Ho-Chunk Farms. I've been working here for a little over a year now. And just want to get started with our Indian corn project. We started in 2017 with only 3 producers, and we only planted about 1.5 acres. And now we're in partnerships with several different organizations throughout our community. We partnership with the Winnebago Public School Academy program. We have about 7th through 12th graders every year. They'll be able to see the Indian corn project. We go up and plant for them. We'll blanch their corn for them, and then they'll do the rest of the process. They'll dry it out and they'll freeze it. And then I think we do our YCIC Youth Crisis Intervention Center. We'll help them do a Indian corn harvest. The most I think we planted throughout the years were maybe 6 to 8 acres. We like Aaron said, we'll till our community gardens for our people. We'll give them seed, how to. But yeah, so then this year we only did about 3 acres of Indian corn, and agritourism opportunity, like what we're discussing here, is that we have our kids come through to the farmers market here in Winnebago, Nebraska, and this year we had kids from 7th grade to I think 10th grade. So that's about, I think it was maybe 80 students that were able to see the process of, you know, blanching, husking, picking, and they did the whole process. So if we can have an impact on our youth like that, and what Sarah mentioned in the group, that she hopes to have this cultural practice on for 7 more generations, if we can impact these kids' lives with just a little morning, couple hours out of their day, out of their school day, then, you know, we're happy to do that. We're more than happy to revive a diminishing cultural practice that way. But yeah, and then a lot of other agritourism opportunities that we do with this is that we have our community members come in to the Ho-Chunk or to the farmers market. I think last year we had maybe 30 or 40 community members, and the community members that do come in and help us, we give a portion back to them. We donate it to them, and so they can have. A lot of people like to cook the corn soup during the winter months, maybe Thanksgiving. They like to have it, maybe even Christmas time. So, and then whatever we do harvest, we give back to our community throughout the year. Special community events, we'll donate some quarts, and we also donate to our funerals. Our community members who passed on will donate to their funerals so they can have a good feast with their families. But yeah, and then throughout the years, like I said, we freeze the rest of our corn, and then we donate a lot of it to our community events. The corn that the public school does, I believe Sweetgrass Trading Group buys it off them, and that's for sale through their website, correct, Molly? But yeah, so that's just a little bit of background about our Indian corn project. It's definitely it's a small scale project, but it has a huge impact on our community members, our younger generations. But yeah, we're looking to grow every year. I think a lot of the other community programs around the community they're doing their own now. They'll ask us to come up and till their gardens for them, and they'll plant a small crop, and then they'll harvest on their own. So it's definitely getting out there. A lot more people know how to do this cultural practice because of Ho-Chunk Farms opening up to the community. And like Molly said, that a good way to connect with your I would say they're not really our customers, but our following is that we post on Facebook, we post on several different social media sites, and people show up. That's the easy way to get the word out. And a lot of people come with their grandmothers. And it's a really good sight to see because like 10 years ago, this wasn't happening. So I'm really glad to be a part of something that has a huge impact on our community. I think we have some. I thought there were some questions. But yeah, so a lot of the agritourism opportunities that I seen some in the chat earlier was that we're always open to having people come check out our farm. We're happy to take them out to show them what we do as a farm, a whole farm. We have the kids throughout the summer. They have a summer youth program where our younger kids are able to work throughout the summer, and a lot of the cultural workshops are they'll go out to our tribal farm where they have livestock, they have all organic, they have watermelons, they grow all kinds of stuff out there. I think they started out on 3 acres, and now they're up to like 6 or 8 acres. Wow. And so then I think we did like 4 tours this whole summer, and there was groups of kids of like 30 coming out there, and and I never really thought I'd be in this position talking to the kids about our cultural practices and a lot of the like food sovereignty discussions. But I'm really glad to be in this position because a lot of the kids now, I see them, they want to be able to do gardens with their families. Right. They ask us questions about schooling and what we did to get into the position where we are. So it's definitely growing in our community to become healthier and be able to produce their own foods.
So Corey, there's a question for you. Do you share or sell seeds?
So I know the seeds that we do plant for our Indian corn project, it's through Sarah Snake. She was in the video, and I believe Aaron told me that is their family seed from generations ago. So I think they're really I wouldn't say picky, but they're kind of certain on who they want to grow that genetic seed. So but we do I think we do offer some seeds. It literally tells people on when to plant, when to harvest, how to blanch and wash and dry out the seeds. So I don't think we sell them, but if someone comes up to us, we'll definitely keep in mind that they want to start growing and stuff. So
Yeah. So Corey, do you notice that some of the kids will return year after year with their school group or their family to participate in harvest?
yeah, yep. So like I said, every year the academy program, we will plant for them, and then they'll do a lot of the process on their own. This year we already planted their fields, corn on corn, and so they weren't able to do another corn in their field. So we picked for them, and they came to do the process with us. So it was kind of cool because they were all like sitting there waiting with their bowls and their spoons, and then we would blanch some, and we'd take it over to them, and then they were just like, dogs and going towards the food, and they were picking the corn, and they were like really excited to get going again. So, but yeah, every year we'll have some students from the academy program go through this Indian corn project with us.
Okay. Great. Well, we've got a Q&A a little further into the program here, another slide away, and so get your questions together for Corey and Molly, and let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Thank you, Corey, for your insights. That was very helpful, and sure appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Here we go. So I just wanted to point out a few things that IENTA has available for all of you, some tools and resources available. The screenshot at the top is the case studies guidebook. You find that in the resources portion of the ienta.org website. Agritourism resources. There are a number, I want to say 6 different case studies for how native owned and native run agritourism type businesses, ag businesses have made it and what they've done to make that happen. And inside of each of the examples are worksheets that you can fill out. You can download it and fill it out. It's a free booklet. It's beautifully designed, easy to follow, and you can kind of lead yourself through the process of starting your own agritourism or taking it from where it is now to a different level. We also have nativeamerica.travel, which is our website aimed forward-facing to the consumer. There are free listings available on that website, and you can contact me to find out how to do that. The listings are available to native-owned and native-run businesses that offer agritourism, offer some sort of travel experience, lodging, food, guided trips, all kinds of different things, and would be happy to tell you more about that. It's a great resource, and we really would like for more people to discover that you can visit Native American sites, Native American farms, and experience a natural or a cultural and authentic type of, I don't know, just hunting experience, fishing experience. We've got some salmon fishermen that are doing some really great things. And then we also have the native food products page that's going to start up again, and that will feature different groups, different products. You can get both agricultural type as well as cultural blankets and jewelry and all kinds of different things, and you'll get them straight from the producer. You can get them from Molly. Some of her products are going to be featured on there as well. Go ahead to the next slide. So here's where we have the Q&A, and we have another image that shows some of the products that Molly has at Sweetgrass Trading Company. You can see that there are some real engaging and enticing products there that make you want to just pull it off the shelf. And so does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask Corey at this time, or Molly? Go ahead and type them into the chat.
I forgot to add one thing that
Go ahead, Corey.
This year, an employee from Sweetgrass Trading Company, they asked us to keep the silk from our Indian corn harvest, and they're looking to make tea out of that. So we dried out the silk. I think I have a bag here. We have a bag, and then we dry out the silk to its driest point, And I think they're going to try to make, like I said, they're going to make a tea out of it. So we already took some over there, and I think they did a test round with trying out some different things with it to get a mix that they are comfortable with. But I knew that's something that they're definitely trying to get into. So I forgot to add that in my presentation.
Great. Then we have a comment that kids love stickers and coloring books. How many of you have been to a trade show or a fair, farmer's market, and they've got the little stickers, and then you go out on the trail and water bottles and backpacks and iPads and et cetera all have stickers all over them. So that is a great way. It's a walking billboard, like a t-shirt almost. So that is an excellent, well, there you go. Molly's got an example right there. Another question, has Ianta considered providing native recipes on your website that is inclusive of all the regions? Ben, I have had a couple of conversations with the Ianta team about featuring on the Facebook page or in our newsletter a recipe from one of our native chefs that are becoming so famous right now. So it is being considered, and thank you for that question. That's great. So I'll give it just another minute or two, and then it's okay if we wrap up early. I think most people have lots to do today, lots to do every day. I would like to say that I've had some really good comments and compliments from individuals who have visited the Ianta website and their approach to things. And the photography is beautiful. The marketing is really nice. People enjoy going to that website and poking around and learning more about the different products and ways to engage with Native Americans in America, Alaska, and Hawaii. Hawaii is becoming much more active with things on our website. So I'm going to see if I can change this screen. Oh, there it is. Okay. These are the contacts for the individuals here today. Again, Molly Rowe with Sweetgrass Trading Company. She would be happy to have you answer or have you contact her. She, believe you me, if you want to get some good ideas about the blog, follow her blog. She has, she does a really good job of writing. You learn about a lot of other people and how they do things, and can get some ideas. I always think it's great to look at other people that are doing it right and then model after them a little bit. It's really not stealing ideas. It's just copying the good stuff, copying the good work. Molly mentions an Indian corn harvest coloring book would be really awesome. And thank you everyone who joined and the Ianta team for having us today. Thank you, Molly. You could speak, you know. Anyway, then Corey, thank you for jumping in at the last minute. You did a great job. I sure appreciate your comments and how you represented Ho-Chunk Farms. They do a really great job. I recommend you follow them on Facebook and look at their website to get some ideas about how it's done well. Corey, did you have anything you'd like to add to the party?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for having me. It was, like I said, last minute, and I was glad to jump on the call. But yeah, if you guys can follow, if you want to follow us on Facebook, we're always giving updates on new projects we're doing. And that's, yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you very much. I'd also like to thank the behind the scenes team, you know, in the Wizard of Oz, where's the guy, and they say, don't pay any attention to the guy behind the curtain. We can't do it without the guy behind the curtain. And they're two gals, Sherry Bowman and Bianca Mitchell. They do a fantastic job, and they work really hard to make these presentations as seamless as possible. And they work with people like me who have little clunky struggles here and there. So sure appreciate them. I also appreciate all of you for taking time out of your busy day to join us. Again, please go to ianta.org and see what more you can learn about this incredible organization. And all of they have so many free resources and tools. You don't need to spend a lot of money to learn more about agritourism. Thank you all very much, and we're going to go ahead and close out and end the webinar today. Thank you.
Thank you.